said you have to fill out a form if you do something.
Yeah, it's like you're trying to pick it up.
What do you say?
He's saying the whole time. Technology. Because he had a keyboard. He doesn't know what he's doing. Yeah, but then they were friends. And also, he likes to know. Yeah, he put them on his first.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because he's trying to get in the woods.
But since he plays, I classmate decided to play tennis.
But Mr. Shannon, they got
Probably the least important thing.
No, she's not looking. She's looking for somebody else. I got like a wave. I waved at her. She's like, I got something else going on. Are they down next to Nancy? Yeah, they're at the football. I had to like sell my soul to get in here. I know, the scanning and...
Just heads up.
You can stand in front of them. Oh, will you? Behind Harper. She wants to get behind you. There you go. We should change the seat. Ironically, it's fire. So that's when you said it was Is that not someone over there? Yeah, yeah, he was stressing.
September 3rd. Just gets better every day. Yeah.
Hi guys, comma, just sent you the extension assignment. Hi guys, comma, just sent you the extension assignment.
I don't think we want to. I know. Sorry about that.
Hello, Mom.
I know. He's got the same haircut. Does he stink? They say I'm making she Is he gonna okay that? He's cool. Almost. Because you don't live in
Good evening. This is the council meeting on September 16th at 6:15. Call the order, please.
Barrow?
Yes.
Fiskis?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Skirt,
Yes.
Lineback,
Yes.
Noonan,
Yes.
Kloppenberger.
Yes.
We do have some special guests that are going to help us with our Pledge of Allegiance tonight, and that is one of our promotees, Nicole Heckman. Her softball team is here in support of her. If you ladies would please come to the podium and help us start the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yeah, you have to take it.
Everybody stand, please.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much. Next order of business is Committee of the Whole. President Barrett.
Thank you, Mary Powell. This time I'd like to return the meeting.
New firefighters and some promotions this evening. First of all, I'd just like to make a few comments. None of this really would have been possible without our citizens supporting our tax levy last November and understanding the need of transitioning our fire division into a more full-time look for our city. This is obviously a very historic event for Maumee. It's been volunteer all the way up to this point. Also, along with that, we were kind of in discussion with the county about the county ALS unit in our fire station, which we decided to opt out of that. And that is also going to make our division more efficient with manpower and the way that we respond to our local residents. So we're very, very thankful for our residents that saw that need and saw that vision. And also, another thing that we never really had in the past is leadership and shift supervision in the ranks. And so that is what a vision that Chief Lobuszewski had and wanting to promote some lieutenants. So there was some hands-on supervision with the day-to-day activities on the shifts. So with that, I'd like Chief, if you would bring your folks forward, please. Okay, so we'd like to introduce the lieutenants to you who have been long-term members of our fire division. Dan Williams, Nicole Heckman, and Sam Johnson. Chief?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Council. It's my honor and privilege to introduce these three firefighters, paramedics to you that will be promoted to the rank of lieutenant this evening. All of them have served and dedicated their careers to the Maumee Fire Department. Dan's got a very extensive background and has been with the department 24 years. 24 years. Nikki, again, has been with the department for over 13 years, and then Sam for 7 years. So, experience, and we're just so proud of them and our department as a whole that has weathered through a lot of things over the years. Chief McConaughey is in the audience. I'm honored to have him here as he's seen our department grow. We planted seeds back then, as did previous councils and administrations, and it took some time, but our community support was there, and it was a very honorable time for all of us. I'm very proud to be here. So at this time, I'll have Lieutenant Williams' family come up. And we are going to give each lieutenant a badge and we call it a pin or a bugle. So this, for a lieutenant, it's a bugle. Because in the fire service, the tradition is when the duty calls or the alarm rang, there was the firefighters would have a bugle out there, and they would announce where they were coming and where they were going. And so today, we carry on that tradition through our bugle. So here is the lieutenant badge. You want to introduce your family?
This is my wife, Ann Williams, daughter, Catherine, my youngest daughter, Lauren, and my son, Alex, is 6.
You're telling me that we should practice? It's the one way
All right.
Congratulations, Lieutenant.
Vicki can introduce her family.
Cameron, Harper, Michaela, and my husband Bob. So I'm sorry, I'm gonna sit about it for just a minute. So I have a lot of family here, my dad, my mother-in-law, brothers, sisters, but I also want to thank my softball team that I coach. They all showed up in their periods, and some special friends over there. So I just want to
Congratulations, Lieutenant Heckman.
Now Sam.
This is my wife Jess, and my parents, my dad's been on Toledo Fire for 28-ish years now. So he's the reason I started doing this.
Ooh, record time.
we did practice it.
Congratulations, Lieutenant Johnson. And now we'll move on to the new hires. This position will be firefighter and paramedic. So first is Shiley Monto and George Jacobs. Tim Crowell. Sam Ivan. And Brock Zuber. Chief?
So this is a really big moment for us. This is our the results of the community support through the passage of the This is our first phase of hiring these 5 individuals. Shiley and George come to us already as part-time firefighters for the Maumee Fire Division. Tim is a current firefighter in Sandusky. Sam is a firefighter in Waterville. And Brock is a part-time firefighter in Napoleon and in Jones County EMS. So we have a wide range of experience and hard work and dedication to this field, and it's a fantastic opportunity for these individuals and for the city to really get some committed, dedicated people like this. Thank you very much. Thank you. Riley? I believe her husband is here. You want me to hold big guy? Tim is a firefighter for us part-time, and then he's full-time in Toledo. Firefighter paramedic Shadi Monzo. Be remiss to say a few things about her father-in-law and Cynthia Rick Maumee. I would not be in the position I'm in, nor would probably anybody out there today or standing here if it wasn't for his father, Rick Maumee, his leadership. We truly miss him, and I know he is extremely proud today of what we've done. Yes, George? Who would you like to know? Krista? There you go. All right. Firefighter paramedic George.
I've got quite a few children. I've got a 3-year-old named Josie, a 5-year-old Julia, 15-and-a-half-year-old Lillian, and my wife Katie. And my son, who's 21, he's in college right now for the med.
We're gonna meet at the end and just get it together. Anything about firefighting? That's all right. That's all right. It's all the firefighter, paramedic Tim Brock.
My dad tried to come up.
Okay.
And I've got my mom's here, Rebecca, my girlfriend's here, and her son Lynn's here, and my brother's here as well.
I should leave here.
Sister? Her goddaughter? Mom and her goddaughter.
It's the tractor. Well, you have glasses.
Thank you, Chief. I've always said that it's not only just public service, but it's family service too, because what we do, what you do, does involve your family. But we do appreciate your desire to work for the city. We've always tried to give our police and fire the best equipment and the best training that we can. We believe that that's a very important thing, and we promise we'll do that. So have a great career, and thank you for your service. Appreciate it. Yeah, so we'll continue with committee of the whole, but if you would, President, if we could just pause just for a minute, and everybody that's with the group, you're free to leave if you'd like. You're welcome to stick around, but I would advise not.
Mama, I want to see fire trucks.
Yes.
Yeah, I do too. You better believe it, man. Cookies, I know, right? Cookies.
He's just excited about the fire trucks. He
Yeah,
doesn't know
that's it.
about
That's all right.
Okay, we'll go ahead and proceed. President Barrow, move committee of the whole. Could you move your mic closer to your mouth, please? Thank you.
Thank you. Council's had time to look over the agenda. Are there any concerns or questions? Haven't seen none. I'm sorry, Councilman.
I was just wondering with all the discussion we've had over the past few months about public money on private property, if the law director could clarify that we do have legal precedent for the grant size and economic development.
That's correct, John. Maumee does have a loan grant program that's for facades. These type of improved projects are authorized. There's many municipalities that have these, not only in this area, but throughout the state. And those type of projects are authorized.
Thank you, and I wanted to add, facade grant is just one facet of the economic development that city plans for. We've lost a lot of big financial hitters here in St. Luke's and Anderson's, and we have to replenish those incomes for the city, which we've really done, I think, a tremendous job of doing so. So facade grant is just one way to help a business who's been here for quite a while. Thank you, and appreciate what you're doing, and they appreciate it because they're really investing in some of their own funds. Thank you. Is there any any more questions or concerns? Haven't seen none, that concludes committee of the whole.
Okay, thank you. We'll move to citizen comments. We have a few that have submitted some papers. Mr. Poppelmeyer from Maumee. If you would, please come to the podium.
You can talk for me as the president. All right, so Dave Koppelmeyer, 318 Kingsbury. I sent everybody an email on Friday morning just asking about the live streaming process again. I did get a response, but I thought I would read my email publicly and see if I can get an answer tonight. Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. I wanted to ask about the live streaming again because it looks like the city was able to successfully live stream Jim's speech at the Chamber of Commerce on Tuesday. The one difference I noticed from this live stream from the one in February was that you didn't need a person to operate the camera directly. With that being said, again, I would ask why couldn't we set that same camera up back in the corner where I stream from and broadcast the city council meetings if the new camera system isn't yet set up / unable to live stream? I know we've got some differences in opinions, but I honestly think this would be a good thing for the city to take over. Marco and I discussed this over email a couple weeks ago, but the numbers don't lie. People want to see the meeting on live stream. And so, the last meeting, the Facebook page did 776 views, and the city YouTube video did 65. This was magnified during the height of the craziness this summer, where YouTube, or the Facebook page did 5.7K views, and the city's YouTube had 118. This is the way that communication is headed, and I think the city should embrace this. As I said for a while, and people keep reiterating, is that people want to know what's going on in our city. The website is improved, but unfortunately it's not enough. I have learned over the years that both of people need to spoon-fed information, especially if you want to control the message. I think this would be a great step in helping the perceived lack of communication by making it as easy as possible to see the city council meetings. Yes, you can post a recorded video, but I asked Margot a couple of weeks ago, do you want to watch the Browns play on Sunday afternoon or on Monday morning? People also like being able to interact via comments on the Facebook page. Do a lot of people feed off each other? Of course. But I think it would be a good opportunity to reach out to people individually and clear up any misinformation that is out there, whether it's through Facebook or even YouTube. I think that might be an even bigger channel to use for live streaming since you don't need a Facebook account to see it. If anything else, you can say, we've reached out to 483 people from the live streams and to ask further questions and clarify information when people complain about the lack of communication in the city. Again, this is not an email complaining. It's just something I think that would help everyone in the long run. I'll keep doing my thing in the corner, of course, and hopefully I can get the GoPro working off my hotspot, which I did not tonight, to get better video and audio than the old iPhone. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you on Monday. Dave Koppelmeyer. So I guess, I tried to do this privately. I got no response, so I'd like a response tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. The live stream is something that we have discussed, Dave, and again, it's up to the council. All the council will decide whether that's a direction we want to go. And we're still looking at that, so thank you. Appreciate your input. Dan Cow?
Hey guys, sorry I missed the last meeting, I was down with COVID. Thanks, Gabe. Yeah, just couldn't help but, see the agenda when it was put out and see all the emergencies and another tax. Politically, I'm a strict position that taxation is theft. Good ideas don't require force. This is a good idea, please put it on the ballot. I will vote no against it, I will speak no against it. And if I stand up here, like any one of you, I would vote against it. Have a good day.
Thank you. So we'll explain the tax levy when we get to that. Basically, what it entails is there's a small portion of Maumee, which is like north of the Pinnacle, which is in Springfield Township. It's in the city, but it's Springfield Township. So that impacts us, that we have to, it's a Springfield tax levy for police and fire, mostly for fire, I believe, other things as well. But we have to act on it as a resolution in order to support that tax levy for Springfield. So we'll talk a little bit about that when we get to that issue.
Which was stated by the officer, and got out of my car to look at the damage, and then was charged with a criminal charge for getting out of my car and impeding traffic. The city has been impeding traffic for over a year and a half now. But needless to say, I want to know how that happens. How does that happen when you call the police for help and they turn that around and charge you with something criminally? You don't have to answer me. I just think that you should be aware that that's what happened. I think that's pretty scary for the rest of the community.
Thank you. We won't be able to comment on that, Ms. Jukulich. You have an active case with the court. Paula Jones? Yes. If you would mind, please come to the podium and. Yes.
Slowly.
No problem.
Don't move as fast as I used to. My name is Paula Jones. I live at 727 Coomler, and I want to thank the mayor, Dr. Birch, and the council for letting me get up and address a couple issues. I came tonight after coming down Town Street and coming across multiple barrels. What are we doing now here in the city with more barrels? Okay. So then I find out they want to resurface this street. Fine, that's really nice. But then I want to clarify so I can take back to our neighborhood group, because we discussed it. Are they making that part of Detroit Avenue one way? I am hearing that, and I need to clarify that. And I told them I would address it tonight and bring it back to them, because I do feel that if that's the case, that's a citizen thing that should be discussed. It shouldn't be decided by a small group of people that, oh, we're gonna make the road one way. So, is it gonna be one way? All I'm asking is yes or no.
No, Paula.
Good, okay, so I can tell them no. Okay, I have two things I want to discuss. The second is my concern with tearing down the silos. Fine, we can tear them down, that's not the problem. I worked down at St. V's for years, okay? And I know St. V's inner city, da-da-da-da-da. Okay, but you look at it, they tore down a huge apartment complex right across from my building. Okay, when they tore it down, they had to put up a board all the way around it, plus dig a trench in order to prevent the rats and the cockroaches from escaping from that area into the neighborhoods. They did it as a courtesy for the people in that area. So what are we doing? What is Maumee doing to address that issue? We don't need any more rats. You know, we've got enough of them. So what are we asking Andersons to do to take care of this issue before those come down?
Is that all?
That's it.
Okay,
That's it.
we will.
That was enough, wasn't it?
Anderson's, there are a number of issues. Anderson's actually leases those from Cargill
Correct.
goes sour. We originally stopped that project because they weren't providing those issues and those safety measures. I asked them if they had followed NESHAP regulations, which are dust falling protection, asbestos testing, and clearance reports. So the neighborhood, when those kind of towers get brought down, they're quite dusty, and we wanted to make sure there was no asbestos in that product. In the time those were built, asbestos was a common additive to concrete when it was done. That has been addressed. They have a clearance report. They had some mastic that was asbestos on the towers. That has also been remediated appropriately. They have to spray, they have to keep roads, they actually have a fence that's going up. It's piled there if you've driven
Well,
by.
the fence is up,
You know, I didn't know it was up
but
because I haven't been there.
that's not gonna keep the rats in there.
No. But they have to vacate and fumigate those beforehand. We know that's the case. They also had lead testing.
So we're not gonna stand down there and watch all the rats run.
Well, I certainly hope not. You can bid her before I do.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for letting me talk to you guys tonight.
Thank you.
Amy Parker?
Amy Pauken, West Broadway Street, and mine's not so much a question, it's a concern. Throughout this whole thing, everybody says, oh, if you have any questions, contact me. After the last meeting that I attended, which would have been in August, because I missed September, early September, because I was on vacation, it was stated that our group was communicating misinformation. So I sent an email to all of you, asking you what exact information is not correct. I was very polite in the email. I truly wanted to know what you guys considered miscommunication. I got one email back that said, thank you for your email. Nobody bothered to answer my questions or my concerns. And this is why the citizens are upset. This is why we don't trust you guys, because we don't get answers. You say, oh, come to us. But then you don't answer us when we have legitimate questions and we really truly want to know the answers. That's my concern, is when I reach out and try to get answers, I get no answers back. It just goes ignored. So if other people feel that way, they're gonna stop and they're just going to believe whatever it is if you guys aren't gonna tell us what is incorrect and have an open dialect and communication.
We've had a number of small group discussions and questions that came from the city's roundtables, and Mr. Weinbach had a couple of them as well. Out of all those roundtables, Mr. Birch spent hundreds of hours answering a lot of questions that people had, which is posted online. And if you read that, I don't know how you couldn't come away with not having a very good understanding about what we're up against. But needless to say, I can't talk for the rest of the council here, but I know most of them that respond very adequately to people that ask. If you're referring strictly to the sewer issue, I know that there's plenty of information out there. If you just look for it, it's there. I don't know if you want to comment on that, Mr. Birch, at all, but
I filled out the questionnaire. Obviously, there's a lot of citations of sources that came from that. We've had discussions with the EPA about 2 flyers they put out. I got a call from Mr. Johnson, who is the assistant director of the EPA. It said the director would make it right. They put out again that we were able to reloan money, and there's no evidence of that anywhere in terms of whether any community ever asked the state auditor or the state attorney general whether they could reloan public money in terms of for sewer inside of people's homes. That was one of the inaccuracies I think you may be referring to. That is a fact. I spoke with Mr. Johnson again, this was actually last Tuesday. We have a number of issues in terms of bonding capability that is somewhat inaccurate as to what the city is able to do in terms of how it bonds for improvements. There's a couple of other issues I think that are worth mentioning, but it could get quite lengthy if you want me to get into all that right now in terms of whether or not the city can carry out specific functions as a governmental unit in terms of private and public sewer projects.
I think that will come out as we move forward.
Yeah, we'll have that.
Thank you. And last is Ryan Spankler. Thanks, Chief, for assisting. Maybe put it in his lap. There you go.
Yeah, first off, I just wanted to come tonight because I wanted to thank Patrick because, you know, when I called him, he came to my house, it was on a Saturday afternoon. There's probably a million other things he could have been doing. But he took time because me and some of the neighbors that live close by are trying to, you know, stay informed about things and be proactive about them. And he came and answered a lot of questions, you know, just, it's not the first time either that he's came to my house or made time for me for an appointment upstairs and stuff. So I really appreciate that. And secondly, I was gonna tip my hat to you, Mayor, because it seems like not only do we have a strong town, but it seems like we got a pretty badass mayor too. So I wanted to point that out there. And then I also, thirdly, I wanted to ask, and I ask this respectfully because I love my city that I live in and I fully support my city council. But I hear there's just so much negativity and nastiness out there lately. People are acting like that to each other, our own residents, you know what I mean? And it's great that people want to lobby for change and whatnot, but I don't know why they have to do it in such a negative way a lot of times, you know, because we do all live together, and it takes all of us to make up this town. You know, city council isn't Maumee, you know what I mean? It's all the residents together, that's Maumee, you know, and I just, never will you catch me spitting bad on the city that I love just because maybe I have a different opinion than the next guy, you know, and that's really troubling. But I would like to ask, just because I really don't know, and I ask respectfully, because I would like to be educated before I have an opinion. But I was wondering, what criteria do things have to be? What criteria has to be met for something to be considered an emergency? When there's an emergency ordinance or emergency meeting or whatever? Because I just hear all kinds of nastiness out there about it, and I don't know. I would hate to be judgmental or have an opinion when I don't know the facts myself. So that's my big question for today. And like I say, I do ask that respectfully, not judgmental, because I support you guys 100%, regardless of whether I'll get assassinated later on Facebook. You know, that I'm okay with it. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
I'm going to yield to the law director just for a second about, we discussed this on numerous occasions about why things are of an emergency nature on the agenda. And we've also looked at what the number of emergency measures have been this year as opposed to the past, and they are way down. That's a fact. And if you also look at the way other councils, most councils in the state and around this area function, they do function in that capacity. But Mr. Langbauer, you might want to comment on that just briefly.
Yeah, basically, Ohio law gives the ability to pass measures by emergency where it involves preservation of public peace, health, safety, and welfare. They give broad latitude to city councils to determine what is an emergency. The ordinances, resolutions that are considered emergencies, there's typically language set forth in there as to the nature of the emergency and the reasons for it. There could be matter of contracts that are due that we need to fulfill. Can be one of the emergencies, tax levies, some of the matters that we deal with the auditors on. There's just a wide variety of things, even some of the improvements that we make because of the contractual limitations that we have. And the number of meetings that it would take otherwise to pass, that it really becomes a timing matter and becomes an emergency.
Okay, thank you very much. And Lauren Godlowski.
Hi, my name is Lauren, 1417 Shepherd Drive. I don't have any questions. I just wanted to kind of attest to the character of some of the people that sit up here that I've had a chance to personally interact with. everybody in Maumee. I typically fly under the radar and I just try to stay silent. But we wanted to get a pool and a fence about a year ago. And the first thing we did was come up here to get our permit. We didn't know what we were doing and we were initially kind of told, no, that can't happen. Patrick immediately came out with some other staff. They staked out our yard. They told us exactly what we need to do. Gabe also came out later to meet with us, talk with us. He had a brother kind of in a similar position as Ryan and helped us through the entire process. Not only did they help us get the, what was it called that we needed to pass? Our variance to get that pool and that fence. Then they also paid for our fees because just being kind up here, and I don't know who else in council helped do that. In addition to that, any personal needs that we've had, they both offered to come out on several occasions and give a personal hand in helping build our fence or put our pool in or any needs Ryan might have given his condition. So I just want to say thank you and let other residents know how much that helped us when we didn't have anywhere to go. That's all.
Thank you, appreciate it. All right, that concludes citizen comments. We'll move to adoption of the agenda. We need a motion to approve the agenda as submitted.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor McDonald. I move to approve the agenda as submitted.
Thank you, Mayor McDonald. I'll second the motion.
Motion's on the floor to approve the agenda. Call the roll, please.
Barrow.
Yes.
Fiskus.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Hurt.
Yes.
Lima.
Yes.
Noonan.
Yes.
Pufferberger. Yes.
We also need to approve the meeting minutes of September 3rd, 2024. There were some minor corrections that were put out today. So we need a motion to approve the regular meeting minutes as revised.
I make a motion to approve the meeting minutes from our September 3rd meeting as revised.
Thank you.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you. We'll call the roll on the meeting minutes.
Barrow.
Yes.
Fiskus.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Hurt.
Yes.
Lima.
Yes.
Noonan.
Yes.
Pufferberger.
Yes.
There are no petitions and communications. We'll move to consent calendar. We need a motion to approve all the consent calendar items. In a second, and we'll discuss these. Yes, Mr. President Merrill.
Thank you, Mayor McDonald. I move to approve all consent calendar items.
Thank you, Mayor McDonald. I will second the motion.
Thank you. So the consent calendar is, the city council has examined each item on the consent calendar, proposed legislation and other items set forth on this agenda that involves the expenditure of public funds, use of public property, or use of the city of Maumee resources, and have determined and find that any action or expenditure set forth in those items would be for and serve a public purpose as defined by Ohio law. That the expenditure and or use of public property would be for the general good of the residents and taxpayers of the city of Maumee and the general public, and promotes the public health and general welfare of the citizens of Maumee and the general public. Under B, we have a recommendation from the city administrator closing 7th Street from the Maumee Intermediate School to Craig between 7th and 4th on October 9th for a homecoming parade for the Maumee High School. That's going to be from 5:30 to 7. Any discussion on that? Okay, the next item is a recommendation from the city administrator on the purchase of a tow-behind leaf collector and a Titan leaf cap as surplus. We're declaring those as surplus and authorize the sale of both on gov deals, thus authorizing the city administrator to effectuate the sale. So basically, we are shedding some old equipment. We do that through gov deals. Any discussion on that? Okay, and then the recommendation from the city administrator approving the lease and indemnity agreement with addendum for the Maumee Senior Center and find that granting of the lease and terms set forth herein serve a public purpose as defined by Ohio law. The mayor is hereby authorized to sign the said lease and indemnity agreement. We've been working on this for a few months with the senior center since the city owns that building.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor McDonald. I just want to say that we're really pleased to have come to this passage here. So, a lot of things have been done. We're just making sure things are done the way the proper that we're supposed to be doing things, and everything I think running in the right direction with that. And congratulations to the senior center. A lot of hardworking people there, and they really do an awful lot of outreach. And a lot of people depend on that senior center in Maumee for sometimes daily activity, meals, and just someone to reach out and be able to talk to and interact with. Thank you.
Thank you. And then finally, recommendation from the city administrator approving the facade grant for Maumee Valley Chocolate and Candy for $60,000. Any discussion on that from the floor? Okay, we'll call the roll on the consent count.
Barrow.
Yes.
Fiskus.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Kirk.
Yes.
Lineback.
Yes.
Noonan.
Yes.
Hoppenberger.
Yes.
Under new business, we have a recommendation from the mayor to approve resolution 14, 2024, a resolution authorizing the mayor of the city of Maumee to prepare and submit an application to participate in the OPWC State Capital Improvement and our Local Improvement Program and to execute contracts as required and declaring an emergency at $150,000. Obviously, I felt this was an emergency because of the need to execute this and get this in the pipeline very quickly. Any comments on that? Two motions on that. Suspend the rules and declare emergency and approve the resolution. Yes, President Barrow.
So moved.
I'll second, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Call the roll on suspending the rules.
Barrow.
Yes.
Fiskus.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Kirk.
Yes.
Lineback.
Yes.
Noonan.
Yes.
Hoppenberger.
Yes.
And approve the resolution 14.
Approve resolution, move to approve resolution 014-2024, resolution authorizing the mayor and the city of Maumee to prepare and submit an application to participate in the Ohio Public Works Commission State Capital Improvement and their local transportation improvement programs and execute contracts as required and declare an emergency.
I'll second that.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion? We'll call the roll on the resolution, please.
Barrow.
Yes.
Fiskus.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Kirk.
Yes.
Lineback.
Yes.
Noonan.
Yes.
Hoppenberger.
Yes.
So basically, A and B is relining the sewer lines, the mains, in certain neighborhoods of the city. This started a couple years ago, so this is just a different phase of that same project. So B is the same thing, a recommendation from the mayor approving resolution 15-2024, a resolution authorizing the mayor of the city of Maumee to prepare and submit an application to participate in the Ohio Public Works Commission State Capital Improvement or Local Transportation Improvement Program and to execute the contracts as required. I'd like to back up just one, on resolution 14, what area of the city is that, does that affect? On 14.
Well, it's Holgate.
Yeah.
There's other areas that
Okay.
we're coming up with.
Okay. So B is, we need two motions for that. Suspend the rules and approving the resolution.
Thank you, Mayor McDonald. I'll move first to suspend the rules and declare an emergency.
Thank you, Mayor McDonald. I will second that motion.
Okay. Call the roll on that, please.
Barrow.
Yes.
Fiskus.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Kirk.
Yes.
Lineback.
Yes.
Noonan.
Yes.
Hoppenberger.
Yes.
And I will move to approve resolution 015-2024.
And I will second that motion.
Thank you. Call the roll.
Barrow.
Yes.
Fiskus.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Kirk.
Yes.
Lineback.
Yes.
Noonan.
Yes.
Hoppenberger.
Yes.
And under C, we're approving the resolution 16-2024, providing for a tax levy in accordance with the provisions of section 2, article 10 of the Charter of the City of Maumee and declaring an emergency. Ms. Harkey, could you comment on it, please, what that entails?
Sure, so item C and D are related. It's an annual resolution that's required by the county auditor every year, and it's just stating our millage, our current millage, and then the amounts that the millage will generate. So it is annually required. It is an emergency. I was given the information by the county auditor on September 2nd, and they want it back by October 1st. So there's not time for the 3 readings, but it's not a new levy at all.
Okay, and what levy is that, does that affect?
It's all the levies, so the unvoted levy, which is just on general fund millage and police pension millage,
Okay.
and then the voted, which is a small millage for general fund, and then the fire levy that was just passed.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion on that?
Just to clarify, then this is not gonna go to the voters for,
No, it's not a new levy at all. It's just simply making sure that the city and the county auditor, that we all agree on the on the millage rates, both voted and unvoted.
emergency on that motion. Okay? It was omitted on that language. So we need 2 motions to suspend the rules, declare an emergency, and approve resolution 16.
Thank you, Mayor McDonald. I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules and declare an emergency.
Commissioner Whitlock?
I'll second that motion.
Thank you.
These are timely and important to get done.
Thank you. And we'll call the roll.
Farrell,
Yes.
Fiskus, Harris,
Yes.
Kirk,
Yes.
Lineback,
Yes.
Noonan,
Yes.
Paukenberger,
Yes. And now I'd like to make a motion to approve Resolution 016-2024, a resolution providing for a tax levy in accordance with the provisions of Section 2 of Article 10 of the Charter of the City of Maumee, Ohio, and declaring an emergency.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you. Call the roll on resolution 17.
Farrell,
Yes.
Fiskus,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Kirk,
Yes.
Lineback,
Yes.
Noonan,
Yes.
Paukenberger,
Yes.
The next 2 are,
Mayor?
yes,
I'm sorry.
Yep.
In the interest of just clarifying, I was sifting through paperwork on another issue. With item B, it's $250,000 for a $1 million sewer lining project, which is Ford to Kingsbury, that large area that I talked to you about a couple meetings. I wasn't sure if that one had the declaration of emergency motion, because this has to be submitted, we can't wait.
It did.
Was it? Okay, I just want to verify.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it did. That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. And under E, recommendation from,
Hold on.
yes, I'm sorry, yes.
Yeah, good D. We only did see D.
Yes. So D is a recommendation from the Finance Director approving 17-2024, a resolution accepting the amounts and rates as determined by Lucas County Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor.
Thank you, Mayor McDonald. We'll first make a motion to suspend the rules and declare an emergency.
I'll second that, Mr.
Thank
Mayor.
you, Mr. Kirk. We'll call the roll on resolution 17, suspending the rules.
Farrell,
Yes.
Fiskus, Harris,
Yes.
Kirk,
Yes.
Lineback,
Yes.
Noonan,
Yes.
Paukenberger,
Yes.
Could we please not have discussions while we're trying to conduct business? We would really appreciate that. It's distracting. And approve resolution 17.
Thank you, Mayor McDonald. I'll make a motion to approve resolution 17 of 2024.
I'll second that, Mr. Mayor.
We'll call the roll on resolution 17.
Farrell,
Yes.
Fiskus, Harris,
Yes.
Kirk,
Yes.
Lineback,
Yes.
Noonan,
Yes.
Paukenberger,
Yes.
The next 2, E and F, are actually projects that have been in the pipeline for quite some time. We need to move forward and execute with contracts and bids and so forth, so it's necessary that we get this moving very quickly. So we want to approve, recommendation to approve resolution 18 from the Law Director -2024, declaring it necessary to improve certain lands in the city by restructuring a road together with curbs and all necessary appurtenances. Pertinence, thank you, for Inwood Place, and declaring an emergency. We need 2 motions on this.
Mr. Mayor, first, we need to make a motion to allow Councilmember Farrell to abstain.
Okay. Thank you for that. Councilman Grillo.
So I will make that motion.
Okay.
Is that for both?
No, just.
We don't need to call a roll on the abstention. We're good with that?
You can take a vote.
Okay. We'll vote on Mr. Barrow abstaining from 18. Call the roll.
Farrell,
Yes.
Fiskus,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Kirk,
Yes.
Lineback,
Yes.
Noonan,
Yes.
Paukenberger.
Yes.
Then I would move to suspend the rules and declare an emergency.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you. Call the roll.
Fiskus,
Yes.
Harris,
Yes.
Kirk,
Yes.
Lineback,
Yes.
Noonan,
Yes.
Paukenberger.
Yes.
And then I would also move to approve resolution 018-2024, resolution declaring it necessary to improve certain lands in the city by reconstructing a road together with curbs and all necessary appurtenances for Inwood Place and declaring an emergency.
We'll second that motion.
Call the roll.
Madam Mayor,
I'm sorry?
can I just make a quick?
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
So, for this resolution and the one following,
where we're dealing with special assessments. Everyone who's been affected by that has been contacted, and they're aware of it, correct?
There'll be further contact even after this.
Okay.
We had meetings with both groups, Mr. Lambert.
Okay.
Any further discussion on 18? Okay, we'll call the roll.
I wasn't.
I'm sorry?
I wasn't.
We'll call the roll on resolution 18-2024.
Fiskus?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Kurt?
Yes.
Linebaugh?
Yes.
Noonan?
Yes.
Pufferberger?
Yes.
And F is a recommendation from the law director approving resolution 19-2024, declaring it necessary to improve certain lands in the city by reconstructing a road together with curbs and all necessary appurtenances. You got me on that one. For High Street and declaring an emergency. Two motions on this, please. Mr. Lemach.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll move to suspend the rules and declare an emergency.
I'll second that, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, we'll call the roll.
Bear?
Yes.
Fiskus?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Kurt?
Yes.
Linebaugh?
Yes.
Noonan?
Yes.
Pufferberger?
Yes.
And approving the ordinance, please.
I'll move to approve resolution 19-2024, resolution declaring it necessary to improve certain lands in the city by reconstructing a road together with curbs and all necessary appurtenances for High Street and declaring an emergency.
I'll second that, Mayor.
Thank you. We'll call the roll.
Barrow?
Yes.
Fiskus?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Kurt?
Yes.
Linebaugh?
Yes.
Noonan?
Yes.
Pufferberger?
Yes.
G is a recommendation from the finance director to approve ordinance 34-2024, an ordinance approving final costs for the sanitary sewer assessment for Riverview sanitary sewer project and declaring emergency. This has been going on since early spring, for quite a while. We've
Yeah.
gone through. Go ahead, Jeff.
So the project is complete, so the amounts were revised, it was a little bit lower than the original estimate.
Okay. All right. So this is basically a corrective measure. Yeah, okay. We need two motions on this, please.
Thank you, Mayor McDonald. First, I'd like to make a motion to suspend the rules and declare an emergency.
Mr. Noonan.
Thank you, Mayor McDonald. I'll second that motion.
Thank you. We'll call the roll.
Barrow?
Yes.
Fiskus?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Kurt?
Yes.
Linebaugh?
Yes.
Noonan?
Yes.
Pufferberger?
Yes.
And then I will move to approve ordinance 034-2024, an ordinance approving final cost for sanitary sewer assessment for the Riverview sanitary sewer project and declare an emergency.
Thank you, Mayor McDonald. I'll also second that motion.
Thank you. And call the roll on approving the ordinance.
Barrow?
Yes.
Fiskus?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Kurt?
Yes.
Linebaugh?
Yes.
Noonan?
Yes.
Pufferberger?
Yes.
And finally, last piece of business is a recommendation from the city administrator approving ordinance 35-2024, an ordinance creating the Public Information Committee. This was brought forth last week by Mr. Fiskus, and we wrote the ordinance and we're acting on that. Anything further to say on that?
Thank you, Mayor McDonald. I would move to suspend the rules and declare an emergency.
Thank you, Mayor McDonald. I'll second that.
And we'll call the roll.
Barrow?
Yes.
Fiskus?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Kurt?
Yes.
Linebaugh?
Yes.
Noonan?
Yes.
Pufferberger?
Yes.
Then I move to approve ordinance 035-2024, an ordinance creating a public information committee.
Oh, I will second that motion as well.
Thank you. And we'll call the roll.
Barrow?
Yes.
Fiskus?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Kurt?
Yes.
Linebaugh?
Yes.
Noonan?
Yes.
Pufferberger?
Yes.
Okay, we'll move to comments. I had planned to say at the beginning.
Mayor, just one thing, too.
Yes.
Did you want to make the appointments to that committee, too?
Oh, yes, actually they are made. It was part of the ordinance. The committee assignments will be on, that'll be our fourth committee, will be Mr. Fiskus, chairman, members, Mr. Noonan, and Ms. Buckenberg.
And then this council will just need to vote to approve those. I
Okay.
move, we approve those appointments.
Those appointments, thank you.
And I'll second that motion.
Okay, we'll call the roll on that.
Barrow?
Yes.
Fiskus?
Yes.
Harris?
Yes.
Kurt?
Yes.
Linebaugh?
Yes.
Noonan?
Yes.
Pufferberger?
Yes.
And we'll move to comments. Like I said, I had plenty to say at the beginning, so I'll yield.
Mr. Barrow.
Thank you, Mayor McDonald. I just want to congratulate the fire department and their new hires, the lieutenants and the people to support all of that. And it's really important, you know, we've been fighting with this, not this 911 consolidation, but this is a second step of it, and it's the fire levy that people weren't happy about, they have to pay more money. But it's so important. We had a need for call 911 a couple of years ago. And it was such that you just don't know if the people answering the phone know what to do, where to send the people, and who's coming to your house, and if that's gonna happen, and when it's gonna happen. We now have, when that fire bell rings, we have people in the station ready to go. It was not like that. For years and years, you'd have a lot of people staying over their jobs, working extra hours, being on call. We went there with the police, it's a little lengthy, but I'll try to hurry up, for the police and the citizens that regrouped. And one of the evenings was at the fire station. Well, the fire bell went off, and I thought, well, that's really neat. They're running that for us. Isn't that cool? It was a real alarm. Nothing happens for a bit until people come there, drive there, get changed, and then go on the run. When you have an emergency, you don't have that, sometimes that luxury of a few extra minutes. So thank you to the citizens of Maumee. I know it hurt to have to pay for it, but well worth it if you have to pick up the phone. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fiskus.
Thank you, Mayor McDonald. Just a few thank yous, and congrats to all the promotions and the new firefighters. It's great to see new people excited to work here. Also wanted to thank all the community members who came down to the towpath on Saturday. We're there for, well, some of us were there for well over 4 hours, clearing out a lot of invasive stuff, and the amount of vines that were choking out life down there was mind-boggling. I mean, you go without a few months and it just takes over. And then I also want to thank council support for the Public Information Committee. A lot of what Mr. Popmeyer brought up will be things we'll discuss in that committee, and moving forward, see how we can improve the channels of communication between the city and the residents. Thank you.
Mr. Harris? Yeah, thank you, Mayor McDonald. I'm just gonna echo them. Congratulations to the 3 lieutenants and 5 paramedics that came in today and were approved, and me and their families. It's a great thing that we actually got to this point. I do want to thank the citizens as well for approving that levy to make this possible. These people work for you, and I know they're going to do a great job. Thank you. Mr. Kirk.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Again, I would like to congratulate the new hires and the newly promoted lieutenants, and the ladies and gentlemen have left, but I hope to see the new hires participate in a promotion ceremony when the time is right. I look forward to that. And I'll echo the comments on the 911 response that unfortunately last December we had to call 911. I fell, I couldn't get up. My wife cannot lift 250 pounds, so, but our fire people can, fortunately. So, took 2 of them, but they got me up, and I was very pleased. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Lambach?
Okay, I've got a few things I want to address. First, the person I'm going to talk about probably does not want to be acknowledged, but I'm going to say it anyway. Mayor McDonald, I want to recognize you for displaying character worthy of emulation this past several days. In a way, it kind of borders on heroic. It's the kind of thing that we want to look to and have people say, that's a role model. There was a guy who cared about his city, saw a crime that was committed, he was able to react, maybe because of a bunch of adrenaline, but whatever it takes. So I want to thank you very much for being that kind of man that you are, displaying that character. Again, I think people can talk about that, young kids in schools or something like that. That's the kind of thing we need for role modeling. Second item, we on council, I think, and maybe a few other people, received an email from a gentleman who offers a service to clean gravestones, and he pointed out that in Riverside Cemetery there are some, and these are gravestones of veterans. He wants to honor the veterans of any war by offering to clean. It's quite like a free will offering of some kind. I watched the video that he included in the email, and he mentioned something that it's the final resting place of the only Revolutionary War veteran in Lucas County. That's a first. It's also the final resting place of Robert Wilson, a gentleman who was mentioned a couple of years ago. My son Josiah talked about it. But he served in the famed 54th Massachusetts Regiment, the all-black regiment during the American Civil War. His final resting place is down there, and I think that would be also included. I'm hoping that we can grant him his wish to be able to perform that service. Next item. So we approved a public information committee tonight. That's a great thing. It was introduced last week, and we were told by the law director that, the way it happened, it couldn't happen like that. We had to introduce it with an ordinance, so we were able to do that. I'm just kind of wondering how, it was more than a year ago when there was a motion made by Councilmember Harris to reinstate the code committee. And it passed, we took a vote on that, it passed unanimously. We were told by the law director, we didn't do that right. But that one's never seemed to come back. But I'd sure like to see what can be done about that, given the support that was provided for that committee at the time. Third item I wanted to mention was just about signs. So, Brian, you mentioned about how much you love Maumee. I saw the sign on your back, your chair there. I think the other sign also reflects people who love Maumee, that's out there. I don't think it's an either or. It's a difference of opinion on some things the way that they're going. But I don't think the vast majority of those people have any less love for Maumee than the other people. I think this is my last item. On a couple of occasions, comments have been made from the bench up here that when we pass an ordinance, if it's not perfect, we can revisit it. I think what we did tonight, we utilized an ordinance on the facade grants. These are, as we've stated, was for economic development. That was a couple years ago or something, and it's been modified a little bit since then. But I think it's time to review and revise that, to think about, does it continue truly to be an appropriate use of taxpayer monies for what's going on in the city? So actually, I would like to move to have the Finance Committee review and make recommendations on changes to the facade grant program and bring it back as if they have revisions as an amended ordinance.
Is that a motion?
Yes, I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, yes, I'd like to make that motion.
What kind of revisions, is that something that can be asked? What are you're just wanting people to review and see if there's the opportunity
I want it to be an action item for the Finance Committee.
Okay.
To do that.
To review the.
Yes, and propose recommended changes in a new.
If there are any.
Yeah, you're right, exactly, if there are.
Is it usually up to the chairman of the finance committee to call those meetings?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, thank you for that comment. Anything further?
No, sir, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Newton.
Thank you, Mayor McDowell. First thing, obviously, everybody else stated it, but congratulations to the new promotion for the lieutenants and the new firefighters overall. As a history guy, it's truly wonderful to see the residents supporting the levy to lead to this moment, along with the city, the administration and the council working to really create a historic thing, and that is, full-time fire coverage, full coverage, excuse me. So I think as a history guy, I'm really proud to witness that, coming forward and seeing it as an actual thing. So I'm really appreciative of that, and again, congratulations to everybody. The second, I got one more thing. Councilmember Linebacker already kind of touched on it, but I also want to echo that Mayor McDonald, his response to that situation, he kind of already called it, but I too would concur that it's heroic. For those that don't know, the timing of it, with the incident, the individual could have, harmed any of the children that could have been walking in that time of day. And for Mayor McDonald to have, the training that they already had to kind of deal with that situation, we're truly blessed that, it didn't result into something more chaotic. So I commend Mayor McDonald and his actions. On a lighter note, with that, for those that don't know, I always razz Mayor McDonald because up here I always call him the former chief, the now former council president, current mayor, but now I have a fourth nickname for him, and it's Maumee's John McQueen. So that's it.
Thank you, Mr. Newman. Ms. Pufferberger.
Thank you. It was very exciting tonight to see those promoted and hired, seeing as how we voted on this in November and it's now September, we're getting these deep.
We'll move to a motion for executive session for pending litigation. Mr.
Move to executive session.
Call the roll. That's for pending litigation, Mr. Burke. Yeah. Call the roll.
Barrel.
Yes.
Fiskus.
Yes.
Harris.
Yes.
Kurt.
Yes.
Lineback.
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
Pufferberger.
Yes.
Open.